Both European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and the United States US President Donald Trump have confirmed that the start date for the US newly imposed 50% tariff on goods not made or manufactured in the North America country, specifically goods from European countries, has been shifted from June 1st to July 9, 2025 after the two leaders had a phone conversations on Sunday and agreed for an extension of time so that the 27 member countries that made up the EU single market bloc may be able to reach a good deal with the United States. President Trump said Sunday that the US will delay implementation of the 50% tariff on goods from the European Union from June 1st until July 9th. He said he took the decision after he had a call on Sunday with Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, who Trump said had told him that she wants to get down to serious negotiations. Trump told reporters while he was about to board a plane on Sunday that he has granted the request. "We had a very nice call, and I agreed to move it," Trump said before returning to Washington after a weekend in New Jersey. She said we will rapidly get together and see if we can work something out. On his Truth social media handle, President Donald Trump stated that, "I received a call today from Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, requesting an extension on the June 1st deadline on the 50% tariff with respect to trade and the European Union. I agreed to the extension July 9, 2025. It was my privilege to do so." The Commission President said that talks will begin rapidly. "Thank you for your attention to this matter." Ursula von der Leyen also on her X social media handle on Sunday said that she had a good call with the POTUS President of the United States, Donald Trump. The EU and US share the world's most consequential and close trade relationship. Europe is ready to advance talks swiftly and decisively. To reach a good deal, we would need the time until July 9th, Ursula tweeted. "We had reported that, as at the time of filing in news report on Saturday night, leaders in the European countries have kept mum ever since. On Friday, the United States US President Donald Trump announced plans to impose 50% tariff on goods not made in the North America country that comes from European countries, with a specific threat to impose 25% tariff on Apple if the iPhone manufacturer does not move production to the United States. This, President Donald Trump based his actions on what he claimed to be cases of unfair and unjustified lawsuits filed by the European countries against American companies among other reasons, but it could be recalled that earlier in the month of April 2025, when President Trump issued the first tariff threat of 25% on European goods, the immediate past Germany Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, had said that even if European countries did nothing in response to Donald Trump-imposed tariffs, the increased tariffs will cause a big problems in the US economy, adding that Trump intending tariff increment on EU goods is an economic error. And the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, had also in early April 2025 said that the EU countries is the largest single market in the world and the EU have what it takes to retaliate or strike back. "We had reported that the escalating trade war between the two biggest economies in the world, China and the United States, US, may take a new twist as the China leader, Xi Jinping, on Friday for the first time issued a public statement in reaction to President Donald Trump's continuous issuance of apparently outrageous self-imposed tariffs on goods exported by other countries to the US, with the president stating clearly to Trump
that China is not afraid of US. This is in addition to Jinping's earlier statement he issued on November 5, 2018 during the first tenure of President Donald Trump that the Chinese economy is an ocean and not a pond. That China economy can withstand strong winds and storms.
Nigeria High Court sitting in Lagos State has convicted and ordered the deportation of 12 Philippines or Filipinos after the Federal High Court found them guilty of engaging in the act of cyber-terrorism with intent to cause disruption to Nigeria economy, and another court in Lagos State has ordered the closure of a collective investment scheme firm, CJC Markets Limited, over the firm failure to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Details of the reports as presented by the Public Relations Unit of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC reads verbatim below. Court jails 12 Filipinos for cyber-terrorism, internet fraud in Lagos. Justice Yellen Bogoro of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, on Friday, May 23, 2025, convicted and sentenced 12 Filipinos to 1 year imprisonment each for cyber-terrorism and internet fraud. The convicts are Anjanette Topacio, Gladys Joy Mag-Iba, Jean Caligo, Shira May Reyes, Roseanne Gonzalez, Laurie Jane Tyag, Mary Grace de la Cruz, Crystal Aquilesca, Jonathan Agulto, Paz Camara, Vivian Pianella and Jonathan Mendoza. They were arraigned on Friday by the Lagos Zonal Directorate 1 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on separate charges of possession of fraudulent documents. One of the counts reads, that you, Anjanette Topacio, sometime in December 2024, in Lagos, within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, willfully caused to be accessed, computer systems organized to seriously destabilize and destroy the fundamental economic and social structure of Nigeria when you procured, employed Nigerian youths for identity theft and to hold themselves out as persons of foreign nationality, with the intent to gain a financial advantage for yourselves, and you thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 18 of the Cybercrimes Prohibition, Prevention, etc. Act 2015, as amended 2024, and Section 2(3)(d) of the Terrorism Prevention, Prohibition Act 2022. Another charge reads, that you, Shira May Reyes, sometime in December 2024, in Lagos within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, had in your possession a document containing false pretense, printed from your telegram, wherein you posed to be a lady, living in the UK, which representation you knew to be false, thereby committed an offense, contrary to Section 6(8)(c) of the Advance Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act, 2006 and punishable under Section 1(3) of the same Act. They all pleaded guilty to the charges when they were read to them. In view of their pleas, the prosecution counsel, N.K. Akoha and H.U. Kofaneza, respectively requested that the court convict the defendants as charged, in accordance with the plea bargain they had entered into with the Commission. Justice Bogoro convicted and sentenced the defendants to 1 year imprisonment each, with a fine of 1 million nairas, 1 million naira. The judge also ordered the Controller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS), Mrs. Kemi Nananandap, to ensure that the convicts are repatriated to their country of origin within 7 days upon completion of their sentences. The devices recovered from the defendants were also ordered forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria. Court winds up illegal capital market firm in Lagos. Justice C.J. Eke of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, on Thursday, May 22, 2025, ordered the winding up of a fraudulent collective investment scheme firm, CJC Markets Limited, over failure to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. He gave the order, following the arraignment of the company by the Lagos Zonal Directorate 2 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on a 1-count charge, bordering on investment fraud on Thursday, May 22, 2025. A petitioner alleged that CJC Markets Limited, sometime in January, collected the sum of 30 million nairas, 30 million naira, from one Wamil Manga, with a promise of a 30% return on investment, ROI. Investigation revealed that CJC Markets Limited is not registered with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to carry out capital market operations or collect investments. The count reads, that you, CJC Markets Limited, being a company incorporated in Nigeria, Ihua Chen, at large, and Akunbeni Dixon, at large, being the directors respectively, sometime in 2021 in Nigeria, within the judicial division of this honorable court, while carrying on your scheme of collective investment, failed to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 54(1) of the Investment and Securities Act 2007 and punishable under Section 54(6) of the same Act. A guilty plea was entered for the company. In view of this, prosecution counsel, Abdulhamid El Takur, called on Christian Chukwu, an operative of the EFCC, to review the facts of the case. Chukwu, in his testimony, told the court that the commission received a petition from Matthew Burkar and county legal practitioners on behalf of the petitioner, Mangna. He also told the court that the commission, during investigations, subsequently wrote letters to the United Bank of Africa, UBA, the CBN and SEC, and that they all responded. He added that the finance officer of the company, Mr. Kolawole Josiah, volunteered his statement regarding the involvement of the company in the capital market. Thereafter, he identified the petition received, the letters written by the Commission to the SEC, CBN and UBA, as well as the statement from the finance officer of the company. Takur then sought to tender, in evidence, the documents, which were all admitted and marked as exhibits by the court. The prosecution, thereafter, prayed the court to convict and sentence the company accordingly. Counsel to the defendant, Adeniyi Komolafe, asked the court to wind up the said company. Justice Aneke convicted CJC Markets Limited as charged and ordered that it be wound up and delisted from the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. The company was wound up for running a fraudulent collective investment scheme firm, CJC Markets Limited, without registering with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Nigeria examination body responsible for conducting entry examinations for secondary school students to gain admission into higher institutions of learning in the West Africa country, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, on Sunday says it recorded a case of Nigeria students using artificial intelligence, AI, to indulge in the act of examination malpractice, specifically stating that the Nigeria students used AI to enhance photograph, but JAM refused to give further details on how the AI-enhanced photo was used to commit the examination fraud. JAM made this known in a statement issued to announce to the general public that the UTME rescheduled examination for candidates that were affected during the main exam due to hackers who allegedly caused technical problems in some centers students sat for the exam. In a statement released on Sunday and signed by JAM's public communication advisor, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, the board disclosed that 21,082 of the 336,845 candidates scheduled for the resit were absent. Details of the statement, as reported by Sahara reporters, reads below thus. Despite the turnout shortfall, JAM noted that the performance trends among candidates who took the resit remained within expected historical ranges, citing success rates from 11% in 2013 to 34% in 2016. JAM said claims that some candidates from the cancelled sessions scored highly and may wish to retain their results are entirely unfounded. It noted that in reality, only a handful of candidates scored as high as 217, while 99% scored below 200. Demonstrating that there were no top performers in the cancelled sessions across the 6 affected states. However, the release of the results has been overshadowed by fresh revelations of widespread malpractice involving candidates, school proprietors, and computer-based test (CBT) centers. The board's chief external examiners, CEEs, led by Professor Olufemi Peters, Vice-Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, NOUN, reviewed the resit exercise and brought in psychometrics expert Professor Boniface Nwogu to validate the results before they were released. Several critical resolutions were made during a nationwide meeting of CEEs, including the conditional release of results for underage candidates, those involved in online WhatsApp runs, and some of those who missed the resit for valid reasons. JAM explained that underage candidates, many of whom had earlier acknowledged in writing that only those who meet academic standards would be considered for special admission, had their results released for record purposes only, and they remain ineligible for admission. Similarly, candidates found to have engaged in academic misconduct using illicit WhatsApp groups and solicitation platforms were granted a one-time waiver. The board noted that it should not be misinterpreted as condoning wrongdoing, urging candidates to avoid antisocial and fraudulent networks. A final opportunity has also been extended to absentee candidates, particularly those who missed both the main UTME and the resit, via the annual mop-up examination. Meanwhile, several CBT centers have been blacklisted for serious examination infractions, including biometric data manipulation and impersonation facilitation. JAM said the proprietors of these centers will be prosecuted, and all individuals directly involved in the fraudulent activities are being tracked. Collusion of certain CBT center, school proprietors, with the connivance of accredited centers, to hack the networks of targeted CBT centers, thereby gaining control of candidates' computers and remotely submitting their responses to the relevant local server of the center, as recently discovered by the security agencies, to whom we are profoundly grateful. The statement read, "The board raised alarm over increasingly sophisticated cheating strategies discovered during the 2025 examination cycle. These include AI-enhanced photo manipulation to enable impersonation, hacking into CBT networks, using hidden, strong rooms to extend local network coverage, and hiring mercenaries to sit exams for candidates. While some Nigerians are busy dissipating energies on conspiracy theories and spread of hatred, our future is being put in jeopardy by advanced level of digitalized fraud," JAM warned. Travel guides. During the 2025 examinations, further high-level malpractices were uncovered, which led to the withdrawal of some results and the arrest of several culprits across the country, some of whom we understand have made useful confessions. Over 3,000 candidates have been identified as having benefited from or participated in such fraudulent practices, and JAM stated that their results will be withdrawn once investigations are concluded. The board also pushed back against tribal or sectional claims tied to the cancellation of sessions in 6 states, clarifying that no high scores were recorded in those sessions, as 99% of affected candidates scored below 200. In another case that drew public attention, JAM discredited a viral social media claim by one Alyssa Gabriel Chukwemeka, a first-year public health student at Adekunle Ajasin University, Akumba Akoko, AAUA, who falsely claimed to have scored 326 in the 2025 UTME. Investigations showed that Chukwemeka had doctored his 2024 UTME result of 203 to impersonate a high-performing 2025 score. His actual 2025 result, recorded in Lagos, was 180 and has since been withdrawn. Following the expose, the student reportedly deactivated his X, formerly Twitter, account. On complaints about result-checking costs, JAM clarified that its SMS shortcode service, 55,019 66,019, is subsidized and designed to protect candidates' personal data from cybercafes and third-party platforms. Candidates were urged not to recheck already released results unless they receive a direct notification via SMS, email, or their JAM profile indicating a withdrawal due to infractions. JAM expressed appreciation to Nigeria's security agencies for their support in uncovering examination fraud. The board also thanked WEC, Ahmadu Bello University, the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, and the National Examinations Council for adjusting their own exam schedules to accommodate the resit. The board commended the resilience of affected candidates and reaffirmed its commitment to a technology-driven, fair, and credible examination process. Despite mounting challenges, JAM maintained that the CBT model remains the best option for curbing malpractice and modernizing Nigeria's education system. Dr. Fabian Benjamin concluded the statement by urging Nigerians to unite in protecting the integrity of the country's education system against increasingly sophisticated forms of cheating.
Osazuwa Connedio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.